Hi, this is my video review of Emergence. Emergence is a role-playing game that represents an interesting mixture of genres. You could say, oh, it's just a science fantasy game or a cyberpunk game, but it combines the best elements of high fantasy and dark science fiction and keeps it all together with just a hint of cyberpunk. Let me talk about the quality of the PDF. The PDF is pretty good. It has some amazing illustrations. The entire book is decorated with all these action-packed scenes and filled with mystery and wonder of this amazing world that combines so many interesting things at the same time. The genre itself, it kind of feels like Stargate meets Lord of the Rings meets Mad Max. It's very interesting. However, the book has a virtual table of contents, the PDF, but I think they could have added a lot more divisions to the table of contents because you can certainly navigate it and look for skills, talents, but you really can't look for individual talent trees or specific character creation parts or aspects. So it's not that easy to navigate the entire PDF. And it could have used some hyperlinks as well. I hope the designers consider adding this to the virtual table of contents. And well, it has good structure. That you really understand how to play the game. One thing that I really like is that they presented the campaign setting first, and then they presented the rule set. So because sometimes you are reading the rules and you are wondering how it all comes together with the theme. But here you understand the theme and the meta plot completely, and then you move on to how to play the game. The book starts with detailing the world of Kython. Kython is the world of Emergence. The story is this: in the year 1982, humanity discovered this strange object. It's kind of like an alien stone, and this stone, after experimenting with it for several years, they discovered it opens portals to different worlds, different dimensions, but it went through a sort of trial and error process because sometimes they opened a portal to a world, but it was uninhabitable for human beings because of the atmosphere, toxicity, etc. But then they opened this portal to a world that it's pretty much a world of high fantasy, that it contained dwarves and elves and orcs, and humanity decided to enter this world and explore it. This is a pretty interesting take because it's usually the other way around. It's usually the humans inhabiting a world and suddenly a portal opens up and orcs enter or whatever, but this is the other way around. And so humanity went into this world of Kython, and they started to making contact with the different races. They started sharing their technology because dwarves, elves and orcs, they didn't have technology, they had magic. And they started sharing how to make vehicles and build human cities. And this theme or setting is all about contrasts. You're going to be navigating industrial complexes and then moving around sunlit, Tolkien-esque forests, and then you're going to be climbing this skyscraper infested with undead, and then you're going to be moving across the snowy mountains. It feels pretty cool. And they started trading, humanity traded with orcs, elves and dwarves, but they got a bit too greedy, and it seems to me that humans are the bad guys in this game because they start getting greedier and greedier to the point that they began a campaign of conquest, trying to dominate the other races. And so dwarves, elves and orcs had to create this alliance to fight back against the human invaders, and they sent a special team to penetrate the human stronghold and destroy the thing that was causing the humans to come into the world of Kython from planet Earth. It is not explained clearly. It's just it's like kind of like a mystery if this special ops team destroyed the stone itself that created portals between worlds, or they destroyed a portal itself. But a huge explosion happened and humanity was stuck, stranded in this world of Kython. And so the different races decided to establish a truce and try to live together. in the same planet. But so here you have a lot of campaign seeds, a lot of ideas to generate adventures, because not only does the world of Kython offer ancient ruins and demons and savage beasts to fight against and to explore different places and mysteries, you also have to deal with the tensions between races, because there was war just a while ago, so you can't expect them to get along also suddenly. And well, then the book, the PDF starts getting to how to create a character. Now, this is one, in my opinion, this is one of the best character creation processes I have ever seen, because you can customize everything about it and you have almost complete freedom in what sort of character you want to create. Because first you envision your character, what kind of character you want. You try to imagine a general concept. Then you choose your background. Is your character maybe a mercenary or a scholar or some type of doctor? You can choose anything you want. There are some nice selection of backgrounds, but you can create your own. And then you decide your racial makeup, and this is one of the best things of this game. You could choose between humans, orcs, dwarves, elves, but you can choose that your character is maybe half orc and half dwarf, or 1/3 elf, and you basically just start buying, by the use of points, different traits and abilities belonging to dwarves, humans, orcs, and you can end up with a character that is part orc, part human, part elf, part dwarf. If your GM is generous, he was going to allow this combination, because of maybe you had dwarven ancestors from your mother's side of the family, and from your father's side of the family you have orc blood and human blood, and it's pretty interesting. You create the exact character you want, and then you start using further build points to buy further skills, boost your attributes, talents, languages. And then you buy your gear, your stuff. Now there are so many cool things about this game, but there are two interesting things that I think have a major impact in your character creation process. Well, first, magic. Usually magic in this sort of game is kind of like a subsystem, something apart from the main rules, from the basic rules at least. But here they integrate seamlessly in the process of choosing the right weapons and abilities for your character to navigate the world successfully. So for example, you want your character to be a sort of like a necromancer. You don't need to buy different spells and all that. You just need to choose a particular talent tree, and you're all set, and you feel like you have just added a new ability to your repertoire. Or maybe you want to be an elementalist, or somebody who uses kind of like telekinesis, and you just add it to your skills and your powers. You don't need to learn an entire subsystem of how to use magic. It feels like it's just there. It's just one more weapon to use. It's all very simple compared to other magic systems. And then when it comes to your gear, to your weapons, armor, etc., you can customize your weapons and your armor the way you want them to be. If you want to be a character that summons demons and at the same time is proficient in the use of shotguns and SMGs, and you want to wear this technological power armor, you can do that. You can create a character just like that. And well, skills are pretty easy to use in this game. You just roll 3 6-sided dice. Everything in this game is accomplished by rolling 3 6-sided dice. You add a few modifiers and you try to reach a certain number, and that's it. And when it comes to gameplay, when it comes to combat, combat is pretty interesting because it's very detailed and seems very complex, but the rules stop just that sweet spot where complexity is easy to understand. It's just like the surface. Once you understand it, you play this game in a very streamlined way. Again, it's all very streamlined. So you have 4 types of actions you can carry out during your turn. You can use free actions, you can spend movement increments, you can take quick actions and combat actions. Now, free actions are just very minor things but significant overall, like taking a stance, and maybe you want to be more defensive or more take a bit more risk but deal more damage. And you can use movement increments to move cover a larger distance, or or a longer distance, or maybe you want to do some other actions like draw a weapon or activate this or that. You can spend movement increments for that. And with quick actions you have the limit of 2. They are also tactical but minor things. And combat actions, of course, it's about making an attack or using this or that ability. There are 2 things that are very important to keep in mind when fighting, and that's stamina and fatigue. Stamina and fatigue are used kind of like, let's say, magic points to accomplish different things and maybe take a particular stance or activate a specific ability or power. But stamina regenerates with each turn, so that you can spend it a bit more freely. But fatigue, it's usually used to accomplish more, I don't know, powerful or stressing things, but fatigue only regenerates every 24 hours, so you have to keep in mind this. It's all about keeping a good control or check on your resources. And when you take damage, you have different counters, different like damage bars, and according to the damage you suffer to each bar, maybe you lost an entire health bar because you suffered so many damage from, I don't know, maybe you got shot by a hand cannon, and you start fighting less and less efficiently. And this seems very gritty and real, because the more you take hits, the less efficient you will be at fighting. However, if your character is knocked unconscious, this is a very cool thing. You don't need to wait for someone to administer a healing item. Of course, that would make the process a lot faster, but there is a chance that you may stabilize yourself and regenerate little by little until you finally regain conscience and wake up and keep on fighting. And that's pretty cool. So taking damage actually feels kinda greedy, but at the same time has that cinematic feel. You also get some excellent rules to carry out vehicle combats and chases. You get all sorts of detailed rules on how to create your own vehicles, and you get some sample vehicles as well. And you got an entire chapter of game mastering. It's pretty excellent, pretty good. This is a game where a beginner can just jump in and start playing without having to do too much research about what a role-playing game is, etc. That's also a good point. In the entire PDF you get all these cool tips and advice about how to run the game and deal with this particular situation and balance encounters. And you get another chapter with an entire bestiary of sorts, all sorts of opponents, demons, dragons, robots. You get all sorts of opponents, and you get rules on how to create them. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. In this game, it's also very easy to alter yourself through cybernetic implants or maybe magical runes. So your character can end up being a sort of like a cyber character of sorts. And you get a sample adventure as well, an adventure that presents combat, investigation, exploration. It's a pretty good adventure, and they will probably expand this plotline in the future. Well, let me talk about what I think about this game. This is actually a pretty excellent game. I highly recommend it because it presents a lot of complexity, but it manages to streamline everything and to keep the complexity level low just at the moment you think, oh no, there are just too many rules, and suddenly it stops and you're like, oh, that's it, oh, I can do this. And yeah, it works pretty simple at the end. And there's so many thematic elements that they have handled in a very cool way, integrating them with the rules. What I talked about with the character race is how you can create your own race from the start, and with it's done very quickly. And you can create the sort of character you want. You can create a mercenary cyborg, or maybe like a scholar who delves in necromancy and specializes using missile launchers or grenade launchers. You can create anything that you want. Well, negatives about this game: thematically and systematically, I can't find a major flaw or negative thing. But when it comes to technical stuff, I think they should add hyperlinks and divisions in the different topics on the table of contents. They should also, I think it would have been nice if they added more sample vehicles. They give you a short selection, but not enough, because you're going to have to generate your own. But it's great that they added everything you need to play right from the start. You don't need to buy 3 or 4 books to start playing. You have this this book, and it has everything you need to play and to carry out an exciting adventure and a campaign even. Well, I hope you really give this game a chance, because at first when you see the cover you may think, oh, it's just another cyberpunk game with fantasy characters in it. No, 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 this is much more. This is high fantasy with dark science fiction, and as I told you, just a hint of cyberpunk. Once again, thanks for watching my review. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. See you later.